I am back again with another educational video. Last time we have talked about a sentence. A sentence with a subject, a predicate, or a subject and a verb. From the last video, I have forgotten to mention the fragments, so we will be talking about fragments here as well. Our main topic for today's video will be about distinguishing phrase in a sentence, with our main objectives. First, identify phrases, independent clauses, and dependent clauses. Lastly, distinguish phrases in a sentence. So it's not only about phrases but also clauses. This time, let's define phrase or phrases. A phrase is a group of words acting as a unit that does not include a subject and a predicate. Look at these examples. You can find here different types of phrases: noun phrase, verb phrase, adjective, adverb, prepositional phrase. The highlighted words are what we call the phrases, and each phrases has its own functions. And remember this since we are talking about phrases, so it's a group of words from two or more words. Let's take a look at this example sentence. The bright red ball bounced directly into a muddy puddle. How many phrases do you think can we find here? First phrase is the bright red ball, and this is a noun phrase. Another phrase is a muddy puddle, and this is also a noun phrase. Both are noun phrases since they start with article the and a. If without these articles, they are adjective phrases. Another phrase that we can find here is the bounce directly. This is a verb phrase. Another is into a muddy puddle, and this one is a prepositional phrase. In a sentence, you can find many different kinds of phrases. It can either be 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. If I'm not mistaken, I think 5 is the maximum. I think you are now ready to write your own sentence using these phrases. You can pause the video for a while to write your answers. Let's talk about clauses. It is a group of words acting as a unit that does have both a subject and a predicate. Remember these examples. On the left side, you can see these sentences, and they are all called clauses because they have both a subject and a predicate. There are two kinds of clauses. First is the independent clause. An independent clause can stand by itself as a complete sentence. The other clause is what we call dependent clause. This kind of clause cannot stand by itself. It begins with a connecting word, such as a conjunction or a pronoun that connects it to the rest of the sentence. Look at these examples. A here is our independent clause, while B is our dependent clause. This is a dependent clause since it begins with a connecting word. There should be an additional information to make it a whole sentence, like this example here. You added, I don't eat them. For this example, what could be our independent clause and what could be our dependent clause? Cleo drives carefully here is our independent clause. Because she doesn't want an accident to happen is our dependent clause since it begins with a connecting word because. If we remove because, then she doesn't want an accident to happen will become an independent clause. Let's now have a recap of their differences. First, the clause have both a subject and a predicate. A phrase don't have a subject and a predicate. A phrase can be a part of a clause and it adds meaning to the sentence. Lastly, a clause can have both a subject and a predicate, and in a sentence, it can have independent or dependent clause. This time, you are now ready to create a complete sentence from these phrases or dependent clause below. Bye bye everyone. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.